Hello, my name is Erik Leveille. I have been playing violin with the Dubuque Symphony Orchestra since 2007, and so welcome to my apartment in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Our water city. We are on two lakes and the Fox River in Wisconsin. So today is a very serious, anniversary. Anniversary of a national tragedy, and we're also in the midst of another, very challenging, serious time in our country. So I was giving some thought as to what I might like to play this evening, and it seemed that pieces that are more contemplative, reflective, inward-looking might be a good choice for a day such as today. There was also a mention that Kathleen put up on the website that mentioned the fact, or on the Facebook page rather, that aside from being a classical musician, that I have a folk duo that I've been playing with for a number of years, and it's something that I miss dearly. It's not something we're able to do right now, of course, in the middle of COVID-19. So, actually, you are going to hear a fair amount of folk music this evening. So where I would like to begin is that I'm going to start with a really beautiful waltz that comes from Scotland. It's called The Dark Island. So for the next selection, starting back in my my undergrad studies at the Peabody Conservatory, I started playing what's called, for lack of a better term, Baroque violin, which is an instrument that, as closely as possible, replicates the instrument as it was at the time of Bach, of Handel, and of George Philipp Telemann, who was a composer from Hamburg. Actually, in his day, he was considered to be far more of a renowned composer. He traveled, compared to Bach, who now we consider as like one of, not just of the Baroque era, but one of the greatest musicians, of all time, certainly from the Western European classical tradition. So, Telemann in 1730 wrote a series of 12 pieces. They've come to be known as the Paris Quartets. They are written for the rather unusual combination of violin, flute, viola da gamba, and then basso continuo, generally cello and harpsichord. Now, when Telemann was preparing to write these rather ambitious pieces, he decided to do an intensive study of three of those instruments: the violin, the flute, and also the gamba. So he wrote a series of solo fantasies or fantasias for all three of those instruments. So there is a set of 12 for the violin. So I am going to play one movement. It's a Siciliana, which is a Baroque dance form. Of course, it's named after the island of Sicily. I'm not sure how authentic this is, but it is characterized by a dotted rhythm, and you'll see I've actually switched bows. I mentioned the Baroque violin, so this is a Baroque bow. If you can see, actually, I'll get my modern bow as well. The difference between the two. The modern bow has this kind of called what's like a hatchet, tip, which was developed by a bow maker named Tort in France. The Baroque bow, we have much more of a tapered end. The curvature, here, trying to get moving backwards so you can see, an outward curvature to the stick. There's a lot less hair on the bow. So I'll be playing on a modern violin. I actually am currently not in possession of an actual Baroque violin. So this is from the Fantasia in B minor, the first movement, the Siciliana. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, Kathleen told me to mention it before I started, but I was a little nervous and forgot. So I will be available at the end if there's anyone who wants to submit questions. Towards the end, I would be happy to, any questions you might have, would be happy to questions that you might have. So I'm going to play a couple more fiddle tunes. Again, we'll save a lively one for the very end, but these two come from Sweden. There's another waltz, and then the next one is a kind of a moderate tune in 4/4 time. That's called, my Swedish is pretty bad, but it's called a gunglet, which is, it's almost kind of like a march, but it's more relaxed than a march. It's usually translated as like a walking tune, so it kind of has this spacious, open, relaxed quality to it. So there is Sommervalsen, which means summer waltz, a season that we are about to say goodbye to. I don't know about in Dubuque, but it has been quite cold here in Oshkosh. And then again, this followed by a walking tune. Let me see if I can find, I am not sure I have set up the comments correctly. I am seeing one from Kathleen. I'm wondering if we might have a couple of, let's see. not sure I am seeing any comments. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and start submitting some. Before I play the next piece, one thing that's been interesting for this entire summer, in fact, this entire year, some of those you who know me, certainly my hosts, first of all, I haven't said hello to them yet, John and Natalie, who have been hosting me for quite some time when I come down to play in Dubuque. So hello to them. Is that I actually went back to school. I actually was doing online studies, so I have become certified as a paralegal. So actually, most of this summer, rather than being a violinist, for the last few months, and then I started full-time the last couple of weeks, I've been actually working for a law firm. I work in Social Security disability law. So in fact, that was, I did, before I played for this, I did 8 hours of that today. In fact, about 15 minutes before we started here, I actually got an email from a client, and, you know, working as an independent contractor for so many years where you feel like you're always on, I actually had to resist the temptation to like run to the phone and answer this email and realize, no, you've already worked your 40 hours for this week, and there's nothing urgent here. It's something that can actually wait until Monday. So it's been interesting, you know, challenging. In fact, this is my first live streaming event, so I actually have not actually had a lot of time to be a violinist most of this summer, so getting the opportunity to do this has meant that it's been, well, a challenge and an opportunity to really get back to playing the violin, and I am grateful for the opportunity to be able to share some music with you. The next piece is actually quite new. It is written by a friend from my undergrad studies at the Peabody Conservatory. His name is Michael Kurth. He is, well, of course, a composer, but he is a very, very fine double bass player. He has been playing with the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra for many, many years now. The ASO has recorded a number of his works. This next piece is actually arranged is an arrangement of a movement of a suite for orchestra of his that Atlanta recorded that's called Everything Lasts Forever. And this movement is called Bird Sing Love. And I think this, for me, may actually match the mood of the day, perhaps better than almost anything that I'm playing this evening. It has a very, very beautiful tune, but it, as it goes along, a lot of the harmonies for this rather beautiful but simple melody, the harmonies are a little more complex, a little bit dissonant than you might expect. So it gives it this very poignant quality to it. And I'm really grateful to be able to play something that's new, and also, again, something that, that, like I said, and Michael and I have, you know, we've reconnected on Facebook, written by, you know, a friend from school. So this is Bird Sing Love. the lighting in my apartment, you can't see it, but I actually had to put a stand light on so that, because otherwise there were too many shadows on the music. So, and unfortunately, the last piece, the Kurth, was actually clipped a little bit. So, for the last thing, even though it's in a minor key, I figured I can't play only slow things. So I'm going to end with one more fiddle tune. This is an old contra dancing tune, which I don't know if any of you are familiar with contra dancing or if you've ever been contra dancing. If you're familiar with square dancing, imagine square dancing, but instead of from the South, it's more from like New England, Canada. Part of the tradition comes over from England. And instead of in squares, now it's not line dancing, but in two long opposite facing lines. And that's actually something I actually used to do quite a lot when I lived in the Appalachians in Blacksburg, Virginia. I would go up to Roanoke once a month and go contra dancing. In fact, that's where I first heard this tune, and I didn't know the name of the tune, so I went hunting. I was like, oh, what's that tune with all of these octaves? It starts and all these octave leaps. So finally, hunting around, I was able to find this tune, and it's called Old Gray Cat. The old cat's pretty lively, actually. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much. Again, thank you for joining us for, like I said, my name is Erik Leveille. Thank you for joining us for the Dubuque Symphony Orchestra, live from our living room. Thank you for your donations to the symphony. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for your continuing support. During this challenging time, please continue to be safe. Take good care of yourselves. Be well. And those of us in the symphony, as we begin our season, beginning with our holiday pops, and then beginning into 2021, we look forward to having the opportunity to come back together and join you.